join me in welcoming to the stage CZ and ΑΠΛΩΣ.
It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. Yeah, thanks for being here.
So CZ, honored to be here. First question, how was your summer?
That's actually much less work to do, so I'm pretty relaxed there.
Well, today I want to get into Binance. I want to get into what's next for you, maybe a little crypto talk. But before that, just the elephant in the room, I want to learn about your experience. By the way, I'm Austin of Altcoin Daily. CZ, your first interview back. What was your experience like in prison?
It's not good. It's less fun than now. So, so I think the whole experience is it's just very limiting in a lot of ways, right? So your freedom's taken away, and you have nothing to do. So it gives you a lot of time to reflect. I actually learned a lot of really important lessons. For example, when everything is taken away from you, what do you miss the most? What I found is actually it's the human connection I miss the most. So I miss my kids, my family, my friends, my colleagues, the community. Like there's a lot of other things I miss, but not nearly at the level of degree that I miss the people. So you miss the food, you miss the nice bed. But those things, they don't bother me that much. So I think it helped me to refocus my priorities in life.
Do you think it was a fair sentence?
So that's a very subjective one. If you ask opinions from anybody, they will say different things, right? So I think, well, let me caveat with a couple conditions. So there's a plea agreement, which I agree to. And I'm in part of the plea agreement, I cannot say anything bad about the plea agreement. And I don't intend to. I think, look, you enter into a deal, that's the deal. Separate from that, there's the sentencing, which I got 4 months for incarceration. And then there was the process going through the prison experience. So in terms of sentencing, the judge has a really tough job, right? So if you ask one side, they will say, it's too lenient. If you ask the other, my side, it'll be like too harsh. I don't care. I don't think about it's fair or not. So I can give you a couple of data points for people to benchmark. For this particular violation, which is a Banking Secrecy Act violation, we didn't register a financial company in the US when we had US users, and we failed to implement an adequate anti-money laundering program. For this particular violation, no one ever went to jail for a single violation, which is my charge. So I'm the only one who went to jail for this in US history. And just 2 weeks ago, there was TD Bank got fined 1.8 billion. And when I was reading that, there were cases, I think you described that there were executives taking money to facilitate transactions, and no one was named. Just the company was fined 1.8 billion. But fair or not, that doesn't matter that much. And then the judge also said a bunch of really nice things about me in court, right? So he said, look, he never seen that many support letters, seemed like a nice standing guy. But then he said he doesn't have to follow precedent. That's when I knew things were not good. And but then when I got into prison, I found out actually 4 months is a really short sentence. Everyone else there is like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 8 years. They're all in years. Nobody gets a few months of sentence. So from that perspective, I'm pretty lucky. So I think in the judge's mind, he treated me very leniently. So again, it's a very subjective opinion. I try not to think about it. I think everyone here will have their own opinions, but I just want to move on. I think it is what it is. I did the time. I addressed it. I just took it head on, and now I can move on. Yeah.
Let's talk about Binance. 2 final questions on this, though. It's just a personal question I have. Do you make friends when you're in there, or is it just...
Yes, so you pretty much have to make friends. Otherwise, if you're alone, if you have no community, then you will not end up well, I think. So No financial advice.
The guards didn't ask you for altcoin picks.
Actually, I did have a couple of guards recognize me and then ask me like, what coin should I buy? I'm like, I better not pick the wrong coin. No, I told them, look, I'm inside. I don't have any access to information, right? So there's no internet. All my information is through like some limited length messages my friends and family send me. And we don't talk about crypto. So I did get a few guys ask. I did get a few guards ask me that. I did make a couple of friends who I still keep in touch with. But you know, everywhere you go. So to be honest, I think they're very nice people in prison. So they're people are very chill. I think, to be honest, I think a decent portion of them have no reason to be there. Right, so they were in there for the wrong reason. They're super nice guys. They may have stepped in some area here and there, but some of them are for very minor violations, and they're there for a very long time. Many of them are there for like 8-10 years for very minor offenses. So some of them, for the ones that are supposed to be there, many of them are there for way too long. But you know, in prison they're very nice people. I didn't have any trouble from any of the inmates. Some of the guards also didn't have any issue from any guards. So from that perspective, I was very slow harm. I was never a classic industry, prison consulting. Well, there's 2 million, in the US alone, there's 2 million people in prison. It's one of the highest per capita prison populations, right? So this is a burgeoning industry, it's growing. When it's supposed to be shrinking. So, the prison consultants like, look, and right before I went, like there was news reports of like, I'm gonna be the richest person ever to be in prison. So that doesn't help me for my safety. But my prison consultants like scared me, like saying, look, you don't deposit too much money on your commissary account. Just deposit $50, right? And then when I go there, every other guy had like $200 on their account. So I'm the poor guy. So overall, no issues. And I met a few friends who I still keep in touch with, and I'm trying to help a few of them to fight their case through legal means, hopefully to get them out earlier. And Michael is probably somewhere. Yeah, Michael's right there. So Michael Santos, he did 27 years in prison for moving some marijuana 40 years ago, right? But now marijuana is like legal. So and then he also got a university degree while he was in prison. He wrote 6 books. So there are guys who like really push, and it's a very difficult environment to do that. I get access to a computer for 15 minutes each time, and then every 15 minutes I get kicked off. And then within that 15 minutes on that computer, there's no cut and paste. There's no paste function. So whatever, if I write a paragraph and I move to one paragraph to on top of the other, I cut it out, I have to retype everything. The tools that in Michael Santos days, they don't even have computers. But there are a lot of people who are there buying books, reading, learning, getting degrees, etc. So there are a lot of really nice people there.
CZ, my brother and I have been at this conference, Binance Blockchain Week, for 2 days now. The energy is electric. I want to talk about Binance. And the biggest question on everybody's mind is, what is your relationship with Binance now?
I have stepped down from the CEO role. I am not supposed to be involved in any day-to-day operations of the company. My shareholder rights, as far as I know, are not impacted. So today I'm still a large shareholder of Binance. I believe I can still request for information, etc. I just cannot make decisions or give orders. So, and the relationship is actually a pretty good one, given that now there's a bunch of other guys working really hard, and I'm forced to retire. So when that first happened, the first month was a bit difficult. You know, it was emotional. It was difficult to detach. It's a company that I poured my heart and soul in, and for 7 years, etc. But I always thought, you know, a CEO should not be on the post for more than 10 years, because the world changes, right? Now there's an AI. I didn't spend a lot of time learning about AI before. I didn't have a lot of time to look at even DeFi in a lot of detail, right? So so now I actually have more time to look at all of those stuff. So I think it's good that looking back now, there's a lot